Welcome to Through the Looking Glass. While here in Wonderland, we're going to discuss topics and share stories to help clear up the distorted views of relationships. We provide a safe place for balanced and honest conversation. While each episode can help all who listen, the focus will be on the community of color. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. Hey, welcome back to episode two of season 5. We kicked off season 5 last week with Chris and his priority conversation. And today's going to be pretty interesting as well. But before we jump into the conversation piece today, which is my pick, we're going to do our mental health check. So how's everybody doing? How are you doing, Chris? What's going on?
No, ain't much going on. Same old, same old. I'm all good.
Literally the same old. What about you, Marcus?
Doing good. No complaints. Great week.
Gotta claim it. What about you, Keisha?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy tomorrow's Friday.
Woohoo! Me too. I'm tired. I just want to sleep. So let's jump into it. Last week we talked about priorities and the importance of priorities in relationships and how that looks in your relationship, and if you feel like you're a priority and in ways that people feel like they're not. So today we're going to jump into a topic. I titled it "He Knows," and when I play the clip, it's going to all make sense. So let's go ahead and jump into the clip there. So I'm really excited about this clip because I think I've had this conversation multiple times with people. So I think it's going to be a lot of conversation on this one.
Going off of compatibility just by itself can be a trap. Because first off, you can be compatible with a demon. Like devils know what you like too. The type of women that you like, you want her to have more curves in the highway. The type of man that you like, you want him tall with broad shoulders and a beard. The enemy could send you pain gift wrapped as your preference. So that's just the first thing about how compatibility can be a trap. The second thing is compatibility is season based. It is possible for you to be compatible with the season of their struggle, but not the season of their success. I want somebody who's going to be there for me if I hit rock bottom. Well, what if they can only handle your rock bottom, but they can't handle your upward season? So now the question becomes, are we really compatible? Or do we just share similar dysfunction? We're both broken in the same area. We're both wounded over the same thing. We have the same feelings over the same wounds, so we end up sharing hearts. But what happens if one of you heals and the other one doesn't? Because just because you heal doesn't mean that they're going to heal. And just because you heal doesn't mean that you can make them heal. What happens if one of you heal? You will remove what y'all had in common. And I want us to be so whole and so secure that when we heal, we don't end up feeling guilty because they're crawling, but we now have wings. It's not just about compatibility. It's about suitability. Does this individual suit my assignment well? Do they complement what it is that God has me doing in earth while I'm here in time? When a man or a woman has found that, that's a blessing. Because when God gives a blessing, you're not going to have to exchange your mental health as payment to keep it. So maybe you're so exhausted because you're breastfeeding toxicity in order to maintain an image of being happy over the very thing that you told everybody was a blessing.
Listen to this.
Wow.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a really, really, really interesting conversation. I do feel attacked, though, because he really just called out the whole tall, broad shoulders and the beard on me. I really felt that was a personal attack. But yeah, so that's why
many forms.
That's why the title is "He Knows." What you think about that, Keisha?
I don't know. I mean, he was kind of coming for us. He was kind of,
little
About
bit,
the-
a little bit
Okay,
too much.
talking about that tall, broad shoulders.
I mean, I think men gravitate to the same thing too. You know,
Well, he said the same thing. He
he
said
did
curves out the wazoo. You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
right.
So
I mean, okay. I guess I got a question. And this is for us. I mean, how is it going with just dating your type? Like the broad shoulders, bald head, or the curvaceous. I mean, is it working out when you
It
just
is
looking
not.
at
It
your
is not
category?
working out for me.
Okay. Okay.
I agree. I mean, it wasn't. Hey, we talk. It's compatibility. It's suitability. It's like when you date what you are attracted to. It's so many. I feel like so much comes with that. Because if you date because of visual, you're gonna get some headaches.
But that's the first thing you see. So it's always going to start off visual. Because, I mean, we're visual beings. So if you see the person, it's going to be that level of attraction to then, okay, let me get to know this person a little bit more.
Now, that's true. And it might just be the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
Like you saying, compatibility. You compatible with what? But just visual, but it's about compatibility too, though. Because you visually see that person, yeah, you're attracted to it at first, but when you start talking to them, how compatible is that? Because ain't that when the compatibility start, when you start the conversation?
Yeah, but then also, now, one thing he didn't say, but the thing that I thought of was trauma bonds. And that can be like part of the compatibility too, where you might be going through something and this person is going through the same thing, and y'all have that level of kind of compatibility and basically
Well,
having
he
that trauma
mentioned that.
bond.
He mentioned that. He
That,
didn't say the word trauma
uh,
bond, but he mentioned you
yeah, I know.
connecting
Yeah, I know he
closer
didn't
to your
say it per
core.
se, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was connected off of that. Yeah, so I mean that could be it as well.
That was that season. That's I think that
Mm-hmm.
he was playing. He was
But
saying it like
even
a
if you
season.
connect to somebody like that, if you both heal, if you both do the work to do the healing, it's when one of you chooses to and the other one doesn't, and then you got a problem.
Mm-hmm. But the
Okay, but
thing is,
also,
Because ain't
no, I
nobody.
was
I
gonna
mean,
say, but
at this
also,
point in
like, but
our
when you
age,
heal, you're gonna be
everybody
a
has
different person.
trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
you have to heal together. You
Okay,
have to
but what if
commit to
once
doing
this
the
person
healing.
healed, you're not the person? But this person is healed. Now it's like, hey, I don't like the person you are healed, or they might not like the person I am once I'm healed.
Right.
That's why it
yeah,
Because
has
I
to be
mean,
a
yeah.
joint
So
effort,
I mean,
though.
you were, yeah. But no, that's what I'm saying. It could be a joint effort, and both of you guys work to healing. But then it's like once you become healed, you're not going to be the same person that they initially met.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on a during the last season where some people may fall in love with the person that you are when you're before that healing takes place. They may fall in love with that person, but once you're healed, they may not be so into the new you. You may not find that person attractive too.
that's just like
You know.
that's just like well, just it's hard to take out of context. 600 pound life when you have that guy or that woman that's enabling that guy, and then when they start to lose weight and they start healing from all that whatever they had and going to therapy and stuff, and they start coming down
Mm-hmm.
and they start feeling themselves and getting their energy back, and the next thing you know, old boy, old girl on the side on the video camera say, I just can't take it. I can't
Mm-hmm.
That's
take
what they be
it. I can't be
saying.
a
That's
part
what they
of
be
this.
saying.
But
I
I
can't
tell you
take
one
it.
I
thing,
about to
they
say I ain't
ain't
never
I
seen
miss
never
that
I
part
miss
of the
that
show.
side.
Right.
they,
That's what they be saying.
I miss that
they
side.
are never single.
They never
Never.
single now.
They
No.
always with
Right.
somebody.
But what
So that's a message
compatibility
right
net
there.
though?
Message.
The compatibility.
Mhm.
You're compatible to their wounding, not the
Exactly.
healing.
And I think that's what it's what you like saying explain like that might not, that's seasonal. Like that person might not just be just supposed to be there for that season and not be there for um just that part of your life. They're not there for the long haul. They just there for that part of you, that healing experience.
Or
Maybe help you
they
along.
can be a catalyst to your healing. There
Could
can be
be.
a catalyst to the healing by saying, I don't want to screw this up. I don't want to mess this up. I know I got work to do. And if I don't do it, he or she is not sticking around.
Right.
So then the
That's it.
question
Hmm.
comes up to, okay, compatibility, suitability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what does it look like when somebody is attracted to your wounding, you know, and then you do start to heal? What's that conversation look like when you do start to do the work on yourself and now you become unrecognizable?
Mm.
Because I think that's the biggest flex when you do the work to the point where you are now unrecognizable, but
Mhm.
understanding you're going to lose people out of your life because people are not like, that's not you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you might lose that person out of your life too because they're not wanting that person. They want that wounded person.
Right.
Some people get
So what do you do
attached to,
about that?
hey, they just there for a season. You got to move on. And I think in that process of healing, in that healing process, you'll figure that out because you got to understand that some people gonna be there for a little bit, and then some people gonna be there for the long haul, and it's just a understanding of how people play roles in your life.
So how do you know when you have met or matched with somebody who is attracted to the healed you or who has that suitability? And I'm going to throw that to Keisha first. Like, how do you know this person is actually attracted to the healed you and not the wounded one?
This
Or
is
is willing to put
somebody.
in the time?
Is it somebody who you've already been dating before you went through the healing, or this is someone you meet afterwards?
Do both. I'm curious to see what you think about both.
Um, if it's somebody you met prior to the healing, they would encourage you. Like, wow, am seeing a difference in you. I see that you're much happier. I see that you're much active in this area. I see that you're willing to talk about subjects that you didn't prior want to talk about. You didn't want to address certain things. So they encourage you in your healing. Um, if it's someone you met after they wouldn't know that you've been through it unless you share it with them, or
Mm-hmm.
they just pay attention to your reaction to certain topics. If you're healing but not fully healed, some things they may touch on that sting still. So um I think it's important though when you meet somebody new to be open and sharing with them. And sometimes when you meet new people, you didn't even know that this was an area you need to heal in. You didn't even know it was a problem.
Right.
So until you meet certain people who kind of can identify to you, bring it out, or maybe they show some similarities or something. So,
And that's a
yeah.
big one because I said this to everybody. You think you're all love and light. You think you're all healed up. A relationship is the battle. That's the test ground. A relationship can bring out things in you that you didn't even know was there or you had a problem with. Um, and it's when you are vulnerable or intimate to a certain level. The reason why that happens is because you're allowing yourself a level of vulnerability that's uncovering certain things that you've been able to keep pushed down, right? So when some relationships come up, you're like, well, I didn't even know I had a problem like that. I didn't know I had a jealousy issue. I do know that. But I'm just saying, sometimes people don't even know the level of healing they still have left until they get into relationships and the opportunity presents itself to show. It's kind of like the whole theory I always talk about. when you get into a relationship with somebody, you're adopting their demons, sometimes literally. So you really have to really look at, am I in this for the long haul? Because no one, you're not going to meet anybody who doesn't have baggage. Everybody has stuff, especially when you
Right.
get up in ages in your late 30s, 40s, and beyond. Everybody's coming to the table with some stuff. So you have to make the determination, am I willing to deal with it with this person? You know what I'm saying? And am I attracted to them because of the baggage they're bringing? And you have to have an honest conversation with that. You were more fun when you were drinking. You were more fun when you were freaking whatever.
Right.
But now you're not doing any of those things, and now we're kind of just sitting here staring at each other. So how do you address that?
Whew, that's a big one.
No, so you just you gotta stand by it, especially if you know you feel better as a person. Then you just gotta stand by your newfound. I don't want to say morals, but for hey, this is the new you, and you don't like how those things made you feel previously. So it's like, no, I mean, you're not going to do it anymore. And then, like I said, you're going to lose people. You're going to lose family members, friends. It's going to just put, as crazy as it sounds, it's going to put a strain on different relationships because people are going to be like, oh, well, you didn't change or you not like how you used to be. And it's like, yo, dude, I didn't like how it was.
Right.
But what if you're on the other side of it? So what if you fell for this person? You guys are have been together for an extended amount of time. You didn't know you were attracted to their wounding. You didn't know, because maybe you have some of the similar wounds, and then they've done the work or they're doing the work, and now they're changing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with that? Because maybe you might realize that you're not the
You might.
person. I don't recognize you anymore. And that's not neither that's not a good or a bad thing, but it's a factual thing that happens. Like, how do you address that? How do you have that conversation? Because you don't want to stop somebody's progression, but at the same time it's like, but you're not who you
There
were.
might there may be a time to exit.
Yeah, I mean, now, I'll
There
use the
may be
word I
a time
always
to like
use is on the communication, just letting them know how you feel and like, hey, look, man, I know how things were, and it's like how things are now. I don't like it. It's not for me, so I need to bounce.
Mm.
yeah.
Um,
I mean it's a
it's an
conversation.
adjustment. It's
Hmm.
adjustment, big time. I mean, it has to be. Whew, it's an adjustment, and you have to really, really care about that person to want to move forward. With these changes. I think.
And we all know pretty much therapy, with our backgrounds and whatnot. And sometimes when people start therapy, stuff gets worse before it gets better.
Oh,
Hmm.
So it's kind of
Absolutely.
like, or am I gonna ride this wave,
Right.
yeah,
or am I gonna bail?
yeah. Because it's just like if you're looking from it from the other side and you see this person is healing and you see that they're doing well and they stop doing whatever they used to do and whatever you and you looking on the other side was used to them being that way and was happy with them that way. But now that you see them change, you really got to ask yourself: is there something in me that needs to change, or do I want to, handle this and stick through it, or do I want to have this hard conversation like, hey, you're doing great. I understand what you're doing. I respect it, but I can't do it. This is not where I'm at right now. So either you got to go, or you know what I mean. And like Keisha said, if you gonna make those changes or just adjustment, because nobody's asking you to change. I mean, that person changed for himself or their self or whatever. So that's up to you whether you want to stick around and stick to it and want to be in that. Well, just like the guy said in the thing is like whether you going to be there when that person heals and you still crawling, or is that person that healed going to leave the person that's still in the mud? So that's when you got to make those choices.
So this is for Chris, because you did say sex was a big major thing for you. That's a priority. So if you're with a chick and she says like, I'm gonna, I need to purify myself,
I know
and I
that
don't
tough
want to.
question.
I don't want to smash for the next year because it's a part of my healing process. What you staying? You staying or you going, Chris?
It all depends on how I feel about it. If I care about her, then I will understand that because I
You
do
gonna cheat? You
something.
gonna cheat?
See, look, man, no, because I
I'm
know
just.
how
This
important.
is. I'm
Hold up,
serious question.
nah, I know, yeah, but nah, I know how important that is to her. Like, I do cleanses throughout the year where I might go a couple months where I
Cleanses
don't.
and sex? Are you
No,
comparing the
yeah,
two?
cleanses. It's the same thing. Yeah, I do. Like my cleanse is for I won't drink.
You get some physical
No
gratification with your
sex.
cleanses?
Well,
No. That's what. Hold
wait
up.
a minute,
I
Michelle.
was going to
Don't
explain it.
interrupt. I want to
Yeah.
hear
Thank
this. Do
you.
not interrupt. Go
So
ahead.
I
I want to hear this.
so
Go
I would
ahead.
say I would say about two. I'll say maybe about 2 to 3 months. I say it's normally 8 to 10 weeks, something like that. But it's like I won't drink. No sex. No like fried foods, greasy foods, and just do like a full cleanse mentally and everything like that. Like, you guys know some of the stuff that I was going through at the end of last year, and I went on one of those cleanse towards the end of last year, and since then, like, I've gotten to the point where it's like, man, I don't drink that much or anything like that. Not saying I had a drinking problem, but it's like once I stopped doing it, drinking and everything, I was like, look, I don't have. It makes me feel so much better now. Like I said, have I got other activities, went back to that? Yeah, but I just don't indulge in it as much. Moderation.
So, so you're still saying that you would go on that celibate trip with her
With them,
if you
yeah.
really cared about her?
Yes, yeah.
For two
If
to
I
three
really
months.
if I really care about that person, it's like, hey, look, man, hey, we in this together. So if this is what you're going to do, then I'm in there with you. So hey,
I'm dubious.
why is that?
I guess two
Would
to three
you?
months. I said for a year.
No, for a year. Like I said, if
You
me
ain't
and
gonna
this
smash
person,
for a
no, hold
year.
on, no, yeah, if I'm committed to this one person and I'm committed to them and we're in this together, then it's like, yeah, okay, all right, look, that's what you want to go through, then we're going to go through this together.
What you say, Keisha?
That's love. If you are willing to do that for a year, that's some
Mm-hmm.
real stuff. I've been celibate for a year, so if you really care about that person, it's possible.
Well,
So
what
it just
say
all
you,
depends
Marcus?
on the individual. If it's something you're willing to do, I think you should be honest with the person. Though, if you can't do it, say so.
Right.
Don't lead
That
them
part.
on.
Right.
Yeah. But it's other things you can do to, occupy your time or to get that release that you were talking about on another episode. It's
You
other
can do some
things.
tantric. You can do tantric sessions.
But
Okay.
that's delaying the release for a year. Tantric is delaying the release, but you're eventually gonna release it
Yeah,
during that episode. You just delaying it.
yeah, but still, you're still going to get, like, I'm at the stage now where it's more so the level of intimacy. And intimacy, it doesn't have to be physical. It can
Right.
be just a mental state of intimacy, far as just like talking, like sitting there just talking about something. And or it could be laying there cuddling or something like that. Like, it's just that level of intimacy where it doesn't have to be the full physical.
Intellectual intimacy. You said,
Yeah.
um,
what,
um,
what, Marcus? What was
um,
that word?
intellectual intimacy.
There. Okay.
Yeah, that was the word. But do y'all want me to answer that question?
Why
If I,
not?
Well, we know
Absolutely.
you can't
if I
do it. We
do
know you can't. But go ahead.
Wow.
Ooh,
Come on,
that,
man. Hey, don't
I
do my
have
man Marcus like that.
so many
that ain't
that
come out
doubt me.
me.
So many that doubt me.
It's proof in the pudding.
Nah, I mean,
Good.
at certain points and stages, uh, in my life, I probably could, but at some stages I really couldn't because I was not committed. So it like what Chris was saying, it has to be somebody that you know what I'm saying that you're willing to put that on the line for. You know, hold it up. But that's on whoever does that. But for me, I probably me now, right now, probably not. I couldn't do it. I don't feel like I could, honestly. So,
You're being honest, so that's good.
so
Michelle,
I understand.
can you do it, Michelle?
Oh
Candy?
yeah, easy.
Yeah, go.
What is that phase?
Yeah, go. She was easy.
I
It's
mean,
nothing. A year, give me 10.
I ain't saying that, but
I mean,
I've
that's
gone,
what you made it seem. You made it seem like that's easy. That's light work.
Oh
but
goodness.
I've gone a year, and it's not by choice, not by choice celibacy. It's forced celibacy because there's
But
no somebody I
no,
want to lay with.
this is different. This is
I
somebody that
mean, this is
you're
somebody you
dating,
want to be with,
you're spending time with, you're seeing on the regular,
Oh,
and
okay.
all that stuff.
throwing a
Okay.
leg on them, cuddling and all that good stuff, watching TV. Mm.
You know what, Chris? You ain't gotta be staring like that, dude.
I was waiting for the answer.
Well, what's the answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that yeah, it wasn't as sureful as the first one. The first one was like,
It
of
don't sound
course. That
believable.
one was
It
like
don't
a
sound
little bit of
believable.
doubt now. A little bit of doubt.
Yeah.
Mm,
Don't
Mm-mm.
sound.
mm,
Uh,
mm.
Still thinking about it.
So moving on. So what if your partner, right, starts going to therapy and is like, for this relationship to be successful and to continue, I feel that you need to go to therapy too. Is
Heck,
that
I
some?
mean, why? Why?
Oh,
hold on.
Why?
apparently there's.
What you mean?
Hold on,
Why?
you want the honest answer,
What's
or
the, I
just the
mean,
podcast on answer?
oh man, the podcast answer. What else
Okay,
you want
I'm just I'm just saying.
But
Maybe
I mean,
they've seen some stuff in you that you haven't seen in yourself. I think it's one of our very first episodes from season 1 called Blind Spots.
oh yeah, go back and check that out.
Blind Spots.
and
But
that's a
because a lot of
possibility,
times that happens. A lot of times that
but
happens.
but are they ready though? If you just, I mean, but some people like that's just like with marriage, people trying to drag their significant others to, marriage counseling or to couples counseling or whatever. Some people just ain't on board with it.
But is it worth it though? Because you might not be on board with it, but once you started, you're like, oh my gosh, I do got some problems. Because a
Ah,
I
lot of
think it's more
times
so
issues don't
suggesting it.
pop up until you see it.
Right.
mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of my biggest issues came from significant others telling me like, dude, what the hell? And I'm like, oh, that's a problem. It's it came from people who were closest to you saying like, that's not cool. That's not cool. You skipping out, don't say something, you not responding, you freaking blah blah blah, like that's not cool.
Mm.
And you're like, oh, I didn't think of it in that way. I was told by one that I'm not honest with myself about a lot of things, and I was like, what does that mean? But then once were able to unpackage it, I'm like, oh, I guess I can see that. Or somebody telling you, when you're going through stuff and you shut down and you shut everybody out, like That's not cool. But the way I was seeing it is if I'm going through stuff, I don't want to bring somebody else in it with me. So to avoid that, I just disappear. I didn't know that it was seen as kind of selfish behavior because people are concerned and they care.
So,
So,
so would you say that those people that pointed those things out to you would be those people that was just there for a season?
no. The people who have pointed stuff out to me are not seasoned people.
Gotcha.
I guess I can say to this point, I've never had somebody who was a seasonal person who came in my life for like 2 to 3 months, said something and bounced. This person, people, you have to. I'm very closed off to people who don't know me. I'm very standoffish to people who don't know me. So for somebody to get to that level to see me in those areas, I've had to know them for a long time. You're not going to get me at 100% in the next 2 to 3 months. It's not going to happen because that's just not who I am. So
But
it has to be somebody who has been here for a longer than a season because they see me at my core to be able to call me out on stuff. Does that make
but
sense?
but when we say seasonal, we're not talking about 2 to 3 months. Some people can be seasonal in your life for years and then be
That
gone.
ain't a season to me then.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
That's
yeah, no.
That's kind of long. That's a very long season.
Yeah.
Like, season can be long.
You know, seasons are like what, 3, 4 months?
Yeah. But that's in like during the calendar type
Okay, so
deal.
let's define season then.
Well, no, I think a season is anywhere from maybe 3 to 6 months. I think anything longer than 6 months, I wouldn't call that a season. That's kind of like
But I mean,
your.
but how many relationships have you been in that lasted for a couple years, but y'all don't talk no more?
Oh,
Who you asking?
I just out there, just throwing it out there. Yeah.
None of my relationships have lasted that short. I'm a long termer, so when I'm
Gotcha.
actually in a relationship, they go year plus.
mm,
I don't do short term things. I won't call it a relationship.
okay.
Okay.
And I
Mm-mm-mm.
can't say I have any exes that if there's one, if I bumped into them, I would act like I don't know them. But for pretty much, I mean, I would be cordial and do a head nod. What's up? Fist pound. And I've learned from all of them, but some of them I just don't like as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I got a couple like that.
Like, how the hell did that even happen?
Um, Dating out of hurt and pain and not healing.
Let's talk about that part.
Because to heal me, I know a couple of guys I dated to heal me would have never given them the chance. They would never have the opportunity.
Preach. Amen. Hallelujah. Up and
Yeah.
down the aisle.
Me too. Yeah.
And and the guys are sitting there smiling, but like, look at y'all's list. I guarantee you there's some people on there that in a different or a better mindset, you would not have ever given that person the time of day.
Yeah, you'd be like, what the hell?
Right.
That's it.
Like, it's slightly
Yeah.
embarrassing. You're like, oh, what was wrong with me? Not what was wrong with them. What was wrong with me?
It's
Chris, no.
not you, it's me.
I
Oh,
swear.
no,
You better be
I'm just
glad you are
thinking,
nowhere close to me right now.
who? Me?
Marcus in that damn statement.
Oh, yeah, no, but I know I was thinking a few months ago, I was just thinking about like different things from my past. And it's like, well, it seems like there's like at different times or stages that I'm in, and then the type of people who I entertain. And it's like, man, yo, it's like crazy. Then it's like, but it's almost like, yo, what was I going through? Even though like I was enjoying myself during that time, but I was like, yo, like what the hell? Like it's Yeah, but you get past it, then you just move on, and hey.
Everybody got that what the hell person. Everybody has that what the hell person. And then
Oh
when
no,
somebody
I
asks you about
have
it,
I have a what the hell stage where it's like it was a time frame where I'm like, yo,
dang,
like
Woo-hoo!
man, yo, yeah, go. Your boy was out here wild.
I believe it.
Yeah,
But what
but
about the
now I'm
people who
delivered.
benefit from the wound? You're delivered. I'm
I'm
done.
delivered.
Okay,
I'm delivered.
That's good.
another
That's good.
hallelujah moment. What about people who benefit from your wounding?
What do you mean, people who benefit? Oh, are you talking about? Give an example. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying.
I guess
So, oh, go ahead, Marcus.
no. I think like benefiting from it is like benefiting from who you were unhealed. Like they enjoyed that person, like
Right.
going out, wilding out, doing things like that, or just in general, like you said, maybe I say alcohol, like say, you know, going out with trying to find a lot of girls and things like that or whatever, and just wilding out. That person, like some people, and it couldn't, and it may not be a significant. It may be friends that was used to that person. I would say that old man or whatever that you used to be, and they, what I'm saying, you may have had a different name at that time too. But when you got
Did you?
healed, yeah, I did. But when you got healed of that old person, what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, they felt like you was boring now, or like they couldn't be around you because you wasn't doing what you used to do. So
Right.
that I think that case what Chris was talking about, you're gonna lose some people when you get healed because you go become a better version of yourself at that time. So if you are with someone at that time and they was used to that person,
Wow.
they, what I'm saying, they want to stick around with you while you heal, then that's their choice. But if they don't make that choice, you're gonna lose that person too. So I
Right.
think I would say, while you in that unhealed stage, those people benefited from you because they love that version of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what about the opposite? What about you're not healed and you're just in that space and you bump into somebody who is and they're like, I can't do this. Like it was fun in the beginning, but like I can't do this.
You got to
The
Do
healed
respect their
person,
you
decision.
hmm?
the
See, no,
healed
you got,
person, you saying?
yeah, no, yeah, you got to respect their decision on that.
Do you do the work though? If somebody okay, Chris, if somebody was like, I'm noticing this, that, and the other, like this isn't working for me. And for us to stay together, like we're gonna have to address it. But you don't see that as you don't see it being a problem.
Now, like I said, that's up to me if I want to change. It's up to me to decide if and when I'm ready to change that behavior. Now, if I deem that this person is a lot to lose, then definitely, like me or anybody else, they're going to make those changes. But they have to be, or I would have to be a willing participant in doing it, not doing it because they said it, doing it because I want it for myself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that comes to the suitability, right? Like so
Yeah.
when you said a lot to lose, what is that? And that's I'm curious for everybody, like what in another person would you consider a lot to lose? Because a lot of people can talk about, okay, what are the red flags? What are the things we don't want in a relationship? But what are the aspects in another person that you would consider a lot to lose?
What I would consider is that person that's like got your back. That person, they have your back, and they're gonna make sure that everything, even if you don't know or feel that something isn't right, they can pick up on that beforehand, and they can kind of guide you in the right way, and just almost be like your like being almost like a not a something like a guardian angel where they're always looking over you. And I mean, like you said, when you found that person, then that's like, look, man, I can't lose that because you've known other people that you've been around that you've had in your life, and you can really feel you can really feel how much that person cares about you.
Okay. And what about you, Keisha?
Um, I don't know. The guardian angel part, I like that, Chris. But knowing that you have the support of that person, and I just think you can feel when a person truly cares. You can feel when they have the best interest at heart for you. I really think that's what I think, y'all. And when you really care about somebody, you go the extra mile to be understanding and to help. So,
And Marcus?
Yeah, I agree with both what Chris and Keisha was saying. I feel like, like that suitability or that accountability as well. If you're willing to stick it out with that person, whether he's, in that healing stage or that person that's already healed, and that person that's already healed, ready to cheer that person on to bring them up, to bring them out of that. But I also feel like what Chris said, it's got to be a choice within that person's self, whether he's going to change or not. And then it's another choice that the other person, are they going to wait until they get ready for them to change? So it's like, what I'm saying? It's like, it's not tip for tat, but it's like what are you willing to sacrifice to wait on this person to heal? Or what is that person going to sit down in that mud for another year or two just to get his mind right or her mind right, in order to change for the better for both of y'all, for the relationship. So it's a hard decision whether how long are you gonna cheer that person on? How long you go for them? You got to
That's
think
a
about
valid
it.
statement.
So it's like it's a time phrase, and then only God knows when that man or woman is gonna take that time to hit that light bulb and say, "Hey, I'm ready to change." So it's a look in yourself and personal decision on what you're gonna make and what you're willing to sacrifice.
mhm.
So I
That
would
makes
say,
sense.
um, because like you said, when if you're not gonna down that person, that's in the mud when you heal, then y'all gonna heal together. Then, like you said, once if y'all do that thing together and both of you become healed, then he said that's a great thing. That's a special thing. So I mean, it's just a point of time of what choice you're gonna, what choice is just gonna be made at that time.
That makes sense. And I think for me, somebody or what I would identify as not wanting to lose somebody who allows me to feel safe,
Mm,
safe and seen and heard, and not heard when I'm being a smartass and sarcastic, but understands that behind that or beyond that, there's power, there's pain, there's fear, and everything else. Like that connection you have with people where you don't have to say it, they just know something's up, they know something's wrong,
Mhm.
and then allows you to express it without saying you're too much for me, this is too much for me, I can't deal with this, blah blah blah. I think that's important. And I think when you have chemistry, because we talked about this in previous podcast, the difference between chemistry and compatibility. You can
Mhm.
be compatible with somebody all day, but chemistry is something
mm,
completely different. Like there's literally, like science really can't explain what chemistry is. So if you find somebody who has the chemistry and the suitability, like you're winning, right? If you
Right.
if you find somebody that you click
Yeah,
with and connect with, and they're like, we're gonna do this thing together, I don't see why you would want to do something to disrupt that. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you, as Chris said in a couple podcasts before, there's nothing out here in these streets,
mm.
right,
So
Chris?
you better try to make it work. Better make it work. 'Cause
Make it work, please. You don't want to be out here. You don't want to be out here.
I don't want to be out here,
Don't you don't
but
want to
I
be
am.
out here. Stop it, Chris. Stop it. You don't want to be out here. So I really I like that clip just because it talked about it's not just about somebody who's there temporarily. It's about somebody who's saying like, look, let's ride this thing till the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? Um in healing, not let's ride it till the wheels fall off and we both toxic as hell, but let's do the work. Cuz I know anybody who I fully commit to and go long term, we're going to have to go to therapy together, separate and together. Like I know, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I think it allows because a lot of times people think therapy as you have a mental health diagnosis and everything else, but sometimes, a lot of times, it's learning how to communicate.
Right. Which
That is
goes with
such
the
a
love
skill,
languages. If you don't know your love language and understand your partner's love language, that's gonna cause conflict right there. I'm so big on understanding each other's love language. Um, Languages could be more than one.
right?
Well,
What's everybody's love language? Mine's words of affirmation. I need you to say it. What's yours, Keisha?
mine is quality time is first, then words of affirmation, then act of service.
Mine
Physical
was,
touch
I think
last.
physical touch was second for me. I need you to say it, then touch me.
Cool.
Ah! Woo!
So,
Okay. I need you to touch and say it as you touch.
Woo! Okay, handing it over to
So,
the dudes. What are y'all? What's? Why are you looking like that, Chris? What's your love language, Chris?
Physical touch.
Figures.
What? No, physical touch. Acts of service.
I see how those two line up.
Yep.
sir.
Exactly how you think. Whatever you thinking, that's what it is.
What's yours, Marcus?
Ain't no shame in my
Words of
game.
affirmation. Words of affirmation. Um, touch. I know quality time. Words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch.
Sounds
Um,
about right.
you those are mine.
All right. I'm laughing at Chris. I don't know what Chris is laughing at, but I'm laughing at him. What are you laughing at, Chris?
You don't want to know.
Mm.
I was thinking about something. I was thinking about another conversation and mental flashback. So go ahead.
Mm.
hmm.
This has been a
You don't
good
want to
topic.
share,
I
Chris?
like
You
it.
don't want to share?
Y'all don't want to know. We good. That'll be another time.
Mm.
No story
It's
time tonight.
No
dark
story
thirty.
time. No story time. So yeah, so I think we all can agree that suitability is important, and maybe even more important than the compatibility.
Compatibility.
Mm,
Thank you,
there
Marcus.
you go. Stumble
So
about that joke.
so um do the work. Do the work. Don't freaking screw up. Don't screw somebody else up. And I think we all can agree like if you are not really ready to be in the space of looking for a relationship, it's probably not best to do it. Like, and be upfront with people. Like, look, I'm not ready for this, but I can do that. Or I can't do this, but I can do that. I mean, you know what, Chris?
No, that I didn't even say nothing. I was agreeing with you.
It's the look on the face. And now everybody can
I,
see it.
I'm sorry. This is how I look. I know it's a blessing and a curse. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Love the confidence. Love the confidence.
Yo, I mean,
Let's
just say
pause. Let's pause for dramatic effect.
no, ain't no man. What up, man?
That's your time to flex. Flex now.
Oh my gosh.
Go, Chris. Go, Chris.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, I didn't even mean to do nothing. I don't say it the way I look. I'm sorry.
It was.
I'm blessed.
What you say, blood?
I said I'm blessed.
So yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah. You're blessed, highly favored.
amen.
Hallelujah. And on that note, this brings us to conclude episode 2 of season 5. And yeah, anybody had any last points or suggestions? Mine would be communicate. And if you're on the receiving end of communication, let it happen. Like if you shut somebody down, if you choose not to participate in the communication, then what are we doing, right? So that would be my final takeaway, would be communication, so you can see if it's compatibility, suitability, and everything else in between. What would y'all say?
I would say, I mean, looks can be deceiving,
What?
and don't. I would say looks can be deceiving,
Oh, okay.
and that look deeper than compatibility because it may be something else there, that doesn't, look for the other, red flags or whatever. Because compatibility ain't everything.
Chris?
I mean, I'm kind of taking it a different direction. Just say if you're involved with somebody that's on the healing path, or you notice that they're healed, don't continue to like tell them about how they were or bringing that up, because like I said, once you've healed that, you don't want to like go back and reopen those wounds, especially with somebody that's, well, no one is all ever fully healed. Healing, that's a continuous process that is ongoing. So like I said, just try not to, as hard as it is, bring up previous things to somebody that's healing, because that could have a negative effect on them.
True.
So throwing it back up in their faces is what you're saying? Don't.
I mean, well, not so much throwing it up back in their face, just like reminding them of who they were. Yeah, how they used to be. Oh well, you're like this now, but remember, blah blah blah. And it was like, dude, I don't want to hear about that. Like, I can't change what I did in the past. Like, all I want to do is move forward. I can apologize for what happened, but that's not me anymore. The only thing I can do is continue to show you that I'm not like that anymore. I don't want to be reminded of it.
Very true.
What I would say, if the person don't fit your now, whether you're the receiver or the giver, you're the person who's going through the healing or the person who's the receiving the person who's healing or standing by their side. If they don't fit your now, then that's a big conversation. That's something you need to talk about, because you don't want to force yourself to be with somebody who you're not happy with. So that's when I think cheating comes along and all that good stuff. Because you're searching for that happiness that you don't have with your current person.
It might not be happiness, more so missing peace.
Well, peace.
Yeah, no. It's a missing piece.
Missing piece.
Sound like another topic for another day.
Yeah.
Marcus trying to rush that. Okay.
He didn't want to talk about that.
Look, man, sometimes there is good cheating. I know we talked about this before.
No, there's not, Chris. And on that note, everybody, thank you so much for participating, listening. You guys, as always, take care, stay safe, be well.